conversations with them two. Voice of the people, the crew for you. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity, bring the light of lives. We shine, we break on through. Conversations with them two. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity. Your voice matters, your gift shine through. Conversations with them two. Yeah. You are the stage. Shine. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity. Your voice.
Oh, what's happening, everybody? I'm your boy MJ, and it's Conversations with Them Two. Welcome to another edition. She is
Lady Des. And listen, everybody, we are just so super excited about tonight's conversation. Now, let's go here. MJ, remember before COVID hit, right? And how the church actually was transitioning then, and a lot of ministries had transitioned into the digital stage, right? But then you had those ministries that, for whatever reason, they wasn't accepting that new move of ministry. And let me tell you, once COVID hit, I guarantee they wished that they would have moved sooner because of the digital stage. A lot of the ministries were saved financially because people were still able to give, and so many other reasons. They were able to still give the gospel and preach the gospel to the people because a lot of the church doors were locked.
and today, whether your congregation has 50 members or 5,000 members, every ministry recognizes the importance of having a media presence. Now, the question is no longer if your church should have a media ministry. The question is your ministry media ready?
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And tonight's conversation is actually designed, MJ, to help churches move beyond simply being online to being intentional and effective and impactful in that digital space. And you know, that's the space I love, right, MJ?
You and social media.
I just like the digital space, you know?
I'm well aware.
So listen, everybody, I am just so excited to have this conversation. I don't know exactly how MJ is feeling about it, but I'm excited to have this conversation. And I do believe that we have someone here that is well equipped to kind of channel us into that wave. And tonight we are so honored to welcome media ministry consultant, broadcaster, technical director, author of Church Live Stream Mastery, Mr. James Prophete. And he has more than 25 years of experience, everybody, in television production, live stream broadcasting, volunteer development, and church media. James has helped so many ministries leverage technology to expand their reach while keeping the gospel at the center of the message.
That's right, family. Tonight, we're honored to welcome a media ministry expert, a broadcast director, consultant, a technical director, an author. James, when I met James, James was promoting gospel music and gospel clubs all around Broward County. So we go back a long, long way. So I know he brings more than 25 years of experience in helping churches with everything, not just live stream production, but he's been helping out with volunteers. And tonight he is going to tell us and tell them how they can expand their reach. So, Mr. Prophete, let's begin with the question everybody's asking, because I want to know, Why should churches, even small churches, invest in media ministry?
Well, the main the main question is why shouldn't you? Because technology, social media is the future. We're already here already.
Absolutely.
So if you're a church, you're not broadcasting, you're not streaming, you're missing out on so many people you can reach with the word. But within reaching that word, you got to have the right vehicle to reach the word. You see what I'm saying? For example, I know you guys were saying that during COVID, a lot of churches wasn't ready to even pivot to into live streaming. It's like they were forced to. But with so many churches were having to force to live stream during COVID, even till this day, most of the churches are still operating at 25% optimal.
Wow.
I can guarantee you, if you go, I go to Facebook church on Sunday, on a regular Sunday, I will go to Facebook, go to YouTube, put in any church service, it doesn't matter. And I can tell from the beginning, like within the first 5 minutes, I can tell what your productivity, what your finished product is going to look like. 95% of churches on YouTube, Facebook live stream don't know the right format. They don't have the right context on how to present live stream to reach that audience.
So what exactly is needed, and how can you tell this, James?
Okay, it all starts with presentation, right? If you're looking at BET, MTV, VH1, TBN, broadcasting is a format. Streaming is a format, right? Anybody can have a webcam. Whereas you just going live with one channel or one camera, that's just a feed. But when you come with broadcasting, you have 2 or 3 cameras. It's like you're telling the story. You see the difference?
Right.
You're going from start to end. You're taking your viewership from context to worship to the word to offering. It all goes in full circle. But even with that, you have to have the right people, volunteers, training professionals in order to tell the right story. And the reason why most churches cannot tell the story because it all starts with their staff. Are their staff trained adequately? Because most churches, honestly, it's not even about a budget thing. If they simply ask their staff to go somewhere and get trained or go seek some professional help, they're probably so much different than what they're giving the audience right now, honestly. So therefore, it's more like a leadership commitment to their own ministry.
All right. So do you think that since we've entered this era of digital, that is permanent, that is here to stay?
Is it here to stay?
Yeah. Is it permanent? Is it something that here today, gone tomorrow?
Mm.
What comes next?
Okay, well, it is here to stay because overall, digital has become, okay, you remember back in let me give you guys some background. I started in television whereas after service, we had a VCR room. You remember VCRs?
I ain't that old.
Okay, we would record VCRs and sell the broadcast to the members. From VCRs, we will go to DVDs. From there, we'll go to this. And now we're live stream. It only advances. And now, honestly, with AI, it's only going to take you further into the future faster. It won't take 5 or 10 years. Within the next 2 to 3 years, if you know what you're doing within technology and media, you'll be so much further ahead than the average ministry. And that's the way it goes.
Okay.
So, yeah, so therefore, either you jump on a train or get left behind. Simple as that. I can't hear. I can't hear you.
There's you muted.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much. And you know what? I totally agree with what you're saying. And whether the church is a small church, large church, when we look around us in today's society, everything is built around technology. And you're right. It's moving way faster than when social media came out. Let's go even before social media. When I remember when Google came out and all the websites and just the introduction of the internet was out, and it took time for people to actually adapt to that. And now here we are years later in the future, and this thing has double, triple, quadrupled, and now we're in the age of AI, and it's going to just take off. Like you can go to sleep tomorrow and something with AI has changed. So I agree, James, of what you said. Like you either jump on the train or get left behind, because if you're just trying to, wonder, should I do this? Should I not do this? It's going to be 10 times faster.
Yeah, and let me give you another, and let me give another pro. Okay, if you have within your actual building of a church, you may have 5, 10, 20, like a decent sized church have about, let's say 100 members, right?
Mm-hmm.
That comes faithfully on a Sunday, you have 100 members. If you have the proper team running your live stream service, how many people can you reach on a live stream?
Millions.
My point exactly. So therefore, we're so focused on who's in the building versus the billions of people we can reach outside the building.
You're right, but James,
can you elaborate on that? Because I'm missing something.
No, and also, James, what I think it is that a lot of the ministries don't know really where to start with even picking a team or choosing what this team should look like, what they should know, because they don't know. So go ahead and finish elaborating, and then also, where do they start?
Okay, MJ, I was saying, okay, for example, okay, if your local church have 100 members, every Sunday, 100 people show up.
Okay.
But if that same churches have the proper streaming channels, have the proper team, train volunteers, the output of your live stream is a professional manner. You can reach, just say that you can reach another 500 to 1,000 people every Sunday. Now, those same people become your e-members, your online members. They don't have to go to your church, but the way you present your service have to make them feel that they want to be part of your church. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah. So therefore, those same 1,000 e-members online, every Sunday you come on, they'll be notified, hey, we're going live in 10 minutes. They're going to join your service. When they come on, they're going to join you praise and worship, etc. When it's offering time, hey, don't just welcome people who are in your church. Welcome, hey, to my online members. Welcome to our service. Now it's time to give. You see what I'm saying? We're not just acknowledging those who are in the building. We are also acknowledging those are like our members who are watching online throughout the whole world, and that makes a world of a difference when it comes to live streaming for your church.
You're right, and I think that's where the transition of the church to the digital platform was a little tough if they wasn't doing it prior to the pandemic, because I think it all boils down to the how, the where. Like I said, where do we get started and how do we get started and what do we need to get started? Because pre-pandemic, the church was moving, it was functioning, it was growing. And then like overnight, the churches closed down and there were people that wasn't able to attend. And so a lot of members got used to staying home, and they had nowhere to go, nothing to watch, because their ministry wasn't, on that digital move. So they lost members, they lost money, they lost a whole lot. And so they ended up closing down. I remember people asking, how do you all do the digital ministry at your church? How does the media ministry work? So everybody that didn't have it was scrambling, trying to find how to keep their doors open, how to make this work. How could I take it back to our ministry? How do we keep people together? And then you had those that were already operating in that digital space. They were actually thriving and gaining momentum when everybody else was losing. Now it was everybody pretty much was home. And then what else you had to do but watch movies, watch TV. And if you needed inspiration and prayer, that was the place. That was the digital space that a lot of people navigated to. They navigated to wanting to hear the word of God. They navigated to wanting prayer because it was a difficult time for so many people. And those ministries ended up thriving. They didn't lose ties. People were tithing through the digital ministry and digital platform. They were receiving prayer. They were sending prayer requests, and our ministry, Bread of, let me do this plug in. Our ministry, Bread of Life Community Church, was one of those churches. I know another church, Fresh Oil. It was another church. They were thriving in the midst of the pandemic because they took hold to that digital space prior to, and they wanted to stay relevant. And now we have people watching, members, as you said, from all over the world.
Correct. Okay, so MJ, so I'm going to say, to answer your question, where do you start? Let's say that you just open up a building. It's like you'll be launching your church within 30 days. To keep it simple, you need let's say you just need 2 cameras. That's like the bare minimum. 2 or 3 cameras minimum, which a budget can be maybe like around, I'll say 1,200. And then you also need a switcher to switch between each camera. And then you need a computer. And that's it. But
so what's the biggest mistake churches are making with the media? I mean, besides not having the equipment, what's the mistakes?
You mean like besides not having the equipment?
Yeah.
Trained staff.
Okay.
It all comes down. Okay. It all comes down to training. If you don't have, for example, if you have 3 or 4 cameras in your church, if you have 3 or 4 camera operators operating those cameras, if those camera operators never been trained how to properly, it's called framing a shot. It's called camera composition. If they don't know how to frame, have you ever been watching a live stream on service, and then the camera operator is following the speaker, then the speaker just goes off camera, right?
Okay.
That's not supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying? It's not supposed to happen. Or framing a shot. When I'm this tall, but then you're giving me this much headroom on a shot, it's called too much headroom. It's just the basics, right? Or if I'm at the podium, then you're giving me all this space. It is so technical that whoever you have part of your team needs to be properly trained from a professional, because it's either you know it or you don't. You can't wing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say that You don't know what you don't know, and that's true. And I see it, and I can see, and I can take a look at your service within 60 seconds. I can tell you what's wrong with it, how to fix it within a minute, just by looking at your broadcast for 60 seconds. Guarantee you.
Wow.
Because I've been doing this. I've seen so many services. I've worked from like a church that had 20 members to a church that have like 5,000 members in the congregation. I've done the concert. I've done the conferences. I've done that. So I can see from you starting your ministry or to the mega churches. From, So to me, it just comes natural as a gift. But if you don't know or you haven't been trained, then you just don't know, honestly.
Okay, so let's transition over to the podcasting, because the podcasting is one of the new other phases of that digital space that a lot of ministries are catching hold to. You have people with individual ministries, such as ourselves, that are going into that digital space of podcasting. Many pastors hear that word but aren't sure where to begin once again. And what are podcasts becoming? Why are podcasts becoming such an effective ministry tool?
Well, it's becoming a such effective ministry tool because a podcast, you can do it with one camera or two camera, but still you still need a switcher and the proper camera and the right gear in order to give your audience that finished product. It's all about what you're giving to your viewers, right? If you're watching two different networks online, and if you're watching two different church podcasts, one of them have no audio and the other one have no lighting, you're going to go someplace else. So therefore, it all comes down to the finished product. Now, the podcast is the advantage is you can stream the video. You also can download just the audio itself and drop that on another platform. So therefore, now you have 2-3 mediums with one product. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I got it.
So therefore, you can download that whole podcast audio, drop it on iHeart, drop it on Spotify. If someone's going on a road trip, they're working out, they can listen to just the audio. And with the video part of it, you can do it live. You can do something they call short form, which are like 30 seconds, or long form videos, which are like 60 seconds or more. You can run those clips on social media to gain more following and to gain more, I'll say, more subscribers to your podcast, and eventually just monetize.
Okay. MJ, you want to add something?
Earlier you mentioned that a cost of a minimal cost to get this started, and I know a lot of churches feel a little overwhelmed with the cost of the equipment. So if you would give us again the cost of the equipment, and when you do that, let us know how important volunteer development is.
Okay, let me speak on I'll say like the very basic. You can have a streaming equipment for like $1,500, but think about the cost of not having the proper equipment or not investing 5 times that, because the return would be much greater than what you're investing. Typically in a church, if you have a need, you raise funds for the building, you raise funds for missions, you raise funds for other things. So why not raise funds for your media ministry? Because it's going to bring more of return financially back into the ministry, right? In the long run. So therefore, I think sometimes leadership don't have that mindset, or have a vision mindset on, I want my ministry to grow, because honestly, I think it's like having that comfort of their 100 members, to be honest with you, versus, okay, we're going to invest $50,000 in our media ministry. So the return will be so much greater years from now on. If not, you're going to be stuck with what you have within your own building.
Wow. Wow.
So not the cost of how much you're going to cost. Think about the cost of not getting it done.
So the whole mindset is just basically seeing it as an investment because your return is going to be greater, and that's just how, and that's just the business side of ministry. Certain things in ministry you have to invest in, you have to put into, because you know that it's going to definitely benefit the ministry. Yes, the gospel is free, but the ministry does cost. And there are certain things, if you want to work in the spirit of excellence, there are certain things that is needed for ministry to function, and especially in this day and time. And I think sometimes we get stuck, especially within our Black culture. We don't do that, or that's this, or whatever excuse or statement they would make in order, to not come out of their comfort zone and their familiar place and to learn something different. But it's definitely going to be relevant if you change your mindset, shift your mindset, and look at this as an investment for your ministry. It does give you a broader scope, broader platform, and you're spreading the gospel to the world. And there's just different methods in how you do that. And now the digital space is definitely one of those moving factors that we can share the gospel to the world.
Yes, and yes, and also don't look at it as a cost. Look at it as a vehicle, whereas if you can add 20 online members to your church per month or per quarter within 2 to 3 years, you see the difference?
Right.
Yeah, so therefore, that's the mindset you need to have in terms of, okay, we're going to make this investment. Because typically we know that some churches have the same 20 members every week or every month that attend their churches. But if you think about, well, we're going to make this investment where we're going to get 20 members online from this quarter, next quarter, another 20 members, another 20 members, then, then honestly, it kind of the investment that you're making right now for the future.
How should the media ministry operate beyond Sunday?
Beyond Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Let me break down Sunday first, and then I'll go beyond that, right? Typically, I'll say the mistake I see that some churches, like I said, I can tell from your live stream, right? The best practice is 10 minutes before you come live online, 10 minutes before your live stream, give your audience notification that, hey, we're going live in 10 minutes. That's called a countdown, right? You can add words, you can add music, images. The best practice is 5 to 10 minutes, a countdown. When that clock down goes from 10 to 1 minute to 30 seconds to 10 seconds to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, if you don't start your service when it goes to 1, we have a problem. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because the staff wasn't ready, your audio may be off, or the microphones are on, or the praise team's not ready. So, like I said, it all comes with a contact. You're telling a story. And I can tell that if that countdown hits 0, then the host is going, and you can't hear nobody. What is the sound guy doing? Or like, who's managing the stage? Or is the praise team on stage? So see, it all plays a part from start to finish. Or like during the service, right? If we're having praise and worship, then I'm on camera The lead praise singer is singing, but my camera is on another praise team. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't add up. Or if we have in praise and worship, you just have one wide shot. It's really not telling me a story. It just tells me that you're feeding. It's like you give me like a live feed, but you really not broadcasting.
Right.
And okay, let's say we do an offering, right? Okay, so now we're kind of offering. I'll say in the basic proper format, the minimum, just have a slide say it's offering time with your online giving platforms. You can donate by Zelle, Cash App, Gigabyte, whatever it is. But the proper protocol would be as whoever's doing the offering, don't only acknowledge those who in your building say, hey, to our online members. Make them feel part of your service as well because they're watching.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, to my online viewers, hey, we can do an offering and you can give 1, 2, 3. It all goes simultaneously between in the building and online. You have to make both work. And let's say service is almost done. Now we're wrapping up our service. The proper way to end your broadcast, okay, the pastor done preached, the praise team is singing the closeout song. Do not just turn the system off on the broadcast. We have another countdown at the end. Fade down the music, fade down the video, or you transition into a single slide about, hey, join us here next week, or here's the upcoming announcement for the week. They're just like a simple Sunday production, which is a lot. But like I said, if you don't know or have the proper staff trained, volunteer trained, then it is what it is.
So okay, so let's go here because it's our time is winding down.
Sure.
And I know it's a lot of people that may be listening to this and they're like, I hear you, but I don't understand. Do you go in and do you teach ministries? I know you have a book out that can train people that are interested or volunteers that are interested in doing their church media. Do you do any training?
Yes, pretty much what I'm doing now. Urgent churches are calling and say, "Hey, James, we want you to come to our church." So pretty much what I do, I would come at your church, just say on a Saturday morning from 9 to 12, from 9 to 1. You bring your whole staff. I would train your whole team from your camera operators, your stage managers, your media directors, and one of your most important key person of your broadcast is your technical director, the person that's going from shot to shot to shot. That's like the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
New England wouldn't have no Super Bowls without a Tom Brady. Chicago wouldn't have no championship without Michael Jordan. Your technical director is the one that runs the plays. He's the one that controls the service. And I go in and kind of see who's who, and based on their talents and gift, I'm like, okay, this is the proper way to use your cameras. This is the way to do your streaming. This is the right way to call your shots. Because there is a sequence on how you call shots. You don't just press camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. No, there's a cadence to it. There's a flow because you want to tell that story from in the building online. And I teach what that flow is like, what it's supposed to be. And then I come in on a Sunday morning and I'll do it live on a Sunday morning as well.
How long does it take you to teach all of the volunteers and the technical director? How long is this process?
It all based on the experience, but if you have some knowledge of how this thing works, or if you're willing, it's not hard at all. It all depends on whether you're teachable, you want to learn, and you're committed. It's all about commitment.
But it seemed like it should take long for Sunday, because Sunday, that's game time. And so, like, prior to Sunday, do you go in and kind of
That's
tell
Saturday.
what? Okay, so it's a Saturday that's involved where you tell them, okay, you are a technical director, you are stage manager, you are this, because even with the terminology, they may not understand that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, how is all of this done on a Sunday when Sundays are usually game time? And for some churches, Saturday is usually game time. So how does that training work? And like MJ said, the length of time, because you may have somebody that says, hey, I want to volunteer for media, but they never ran cameras before. They probably are good with the computer, but they never ran cameras before. They never was involved in broadcasting or television. So I'm thinking that these people will take a little bit more time. So what is the average time frame for a actual good training to where a media ministry say, okay, we're good to go live this Sunday?
Well, okay, like they say, like practice, like they say, practice made perfect. And running camera is more about muscle memory in terms of your movement, your breathing, and knowing how to follow talent, and realizing, staying focused and knowing what's going on stage and not be distracted for what's around you. So I'll say within a good 4 to 6 months of applying like the basic what I'm teaching you, I'll say given that time as well. I'll say 4 to 6 months, just weekly application based on what I teach you from that Saturday. If you just apply those principles within 4 to 6 months, then pretty much you see like a drastic change.
Wow. Listen, I'm thinking, I wasn't thinking that long for a crash course, but I guess you know better.
Okay, well, no. Okay, well, I say for like a crash course, I'll say just like on a typical Saturday from 9 to 1, I call like a boot camp, right? Where we go over like the whole ministry in terms of what everybody gifts and talent and the strength and the weaknesses. Then I kind of direct them in the right path in terms of what to do, how to do it more, or what principle are more effective, just to achieve like the total broadcast solutions for the next day, which is that Sunday broadcast itself. Because sometimes some people know, but they just need that next level of training or just knowing what to do within a time frame. That's all it is.
All right, we're going to do something with you, James, that we have never, ever done before. We're going to take a question from one of our Facebook followers, and they want to know what can be done for small churches with 1 camera, 2 volunteers, and a basic service.
You say what?
One of our Facebook followers want to know what can we do for small churches that have 1 camera and 2 volunteers in a basic service.
1 camera, 2 volunteers. What can we do? I would say raise an offering, buy a second camera.
But say for instance, they have to work with what they have.
Okay. Well,
the basis.
Working with 1 camera. Okay, I say the best principle with 1 camera would be like just to have a wide shot showing the podium and halfway of your audience, because it's just a single shot camera, right? So the concept with 1 camera is that if you're just showing a tight shot, which is this right here, then therefore you really can't go to like a wide shot because you only have one camera. So best practice is to have a wide shot showing the podium when your pastor or speaker stands. You can see over their head, you can see the front of the stage, and you can see midway of your audience. Because you don't want to show only the pastor, because then your viewers online don't have the context of the four dimensions of your church, which makes a big difference on how online sees your service. So
Okay,
if you
so
don't have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so therefore, if you don't have one camera, don't give me a tight shot. Don't show the head to toes. Go wider. Show your online audience. We have the pastor, and we also have members. That's the best way to work with one camera.
So that means that camera needs to be centered in
Yes.
whatever the middle of that church is to get that
Yes.
problem. Okay,
Correct.
so now I've seen smaller churches where they have the camera in the center, but they have it too far back. So everybody look like minions.
Correct. That's why I say don't have it all the way back. Have it more like from the stage, say midway of your audience. Therefore, your online views are getting half audience, and from the stage up. It's like you kind of like sharing. Okay, you kind of like making your stage like your center line. The back is audience, and your top is from the stage. What goes on stage?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Go ahead, MJ.
How can we get your book?
My book, just go to churchlivestreammastery.com. It's on the website live, churchlivestreammastery.com. Man, it will break down everything I've talked about, the steps, the principles on. There's so many modules in here, from camera operators, what a technical director does, how to train your volunteers. If you have bad lighting, sound, some mistakes, it kind of covers the whole thing. And it says that you'll launch or upgrade your live stream within the first 30 days, because it kind of gives you like the basic principles of how to set up your live stream. It's just like a basic how to kind of ebook.
Okay.
And what is that again? Churchlivestream.com?
No, Church Livestream
Mastery.com.
Yes, because it kind of covers the whole, everything from A to Z when it comes to live streaming.
And what about your contact information for those that are interested in having you come out to their church to overlook or to evaluate what their media presence and service would look like?
They can find me on Facebook at James Prophet. They can go to the website, or, you guys can call me directly, 954-249-7512, because I'm global.
What is it? 954?
954-249-7512, because we global.
All right.
Oh,
right, so
okay. Lastly, right? If you have a church, and if you post in the comment, say, "Hey, I saw the show," I will personally contact you. I will do an audit about your church service, and then I'll just spend 5 minutes on the phone and say, "Hey, this is what you need to get fixed for free."
What's your phone number again?
954-249-7512.
All right.
So listen, everybody, y'all see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So if you are a ministry that wants your media ministry to go to another level, you want to reach the masses through the digital space, which I think is a brilliant idea, to hop on that as soon as possible, sooner than later. Contact Mr. James Prophet. The number is 954-249-7512. You can purchase his book at churchlivestreammastery.com.
Now, James, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight. This conversation reminds us that, ministry does not stop at the church doors. It continues through every scene, every speaker, every live stream, even the podcast, and every opportunity that there is to share the hope of Jesus Christ.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on, I hear you. But but before we leave, remember tonight's message, everybody. The gospel hasn't changed. It's the same today, yesterday, and forever. But the way we share it has. So we have so many different methods now, so many different options to get the message of Jesus Christ to the masses. And this digital space is definitely one of those vehicles. And James, we just want to thank you so much for being part of conversations with them too on tonight with MJ Smith and Lady Des. Thank you for your knowledge, sharing your knowledge. Thank you for not being a gatekeeper. And thank you for the willingness to want to help ministries thrive in their media, in their media ministry and this digital space. So we truly appreciate what you do for ministries all over.
No problem. Can I tell you one more thing?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Remember about the parable about when Jesus gave like the gifts and the talents?
Right.
Right. Some gave 2, some gave 1, some gave 5.
Yes.
I know that this broadcasting thing is my gift. It's my talent.
Yes.
Because I've been doing things for so long that it's not about the money. It's more about the passion. And they say that when you love doing something, you can even do it for free because that's what gives you joy. So my gift and my talent is broadcasting. I can come to the smallest church with 20 people and do this, or I can go to the mega church and find the same joy. But it's in the journey of teaching people how to get to the next level. That's where I find my happiness. Because over the years, it's a gift, it's a talent. So many of us have gifts and talent, but we bury them. So at the end of the day, we're like, well, what did you do with the talent? Nothing. And I'm just trying to be like, okay, well, instead of burying mine, I'm just trying to reach the masses to do something positive and reach those, also like to reach those, who needs to hear.
Exactly.
That's it.
And family, with that talent, make sure you visit churchlivestreammastery.com to pick up James Prophet's powerful new book, a practical guide that's designed to help churches launch, improve, and sustain impactful live stream ministries through proven broadcast principles and volunteer-friendly systems. I'm your boy MJ. I gotta tell you, we appreciate you, James, and for those that are watching Conversations with Them Too, we do this each and every Monday night at 8:30 in the p.m. What's her name? She is
Lady Des.
And I'm your boy MJ. And listen, we're gonna do this again next week, same place, same time, but it'll be with somebody different. So make sure you join us next week at 8:00 in the p.m. and pick up James Prophet's book, The Church Livestream Mastery, at churchlivestreammastery.com. All right, family. Des.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
You. Anytime.
And have a great evening.
Family. So until next time, Des.
Yes.
Get off the stage.
I'm getting off the stage. All right, y'all. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.